So when Fen came out, which was this kind of speed that doctors gave you, I was there. When it came out that it was going to hurt your heart, I didn't care. I'd lost some weight and my butt was smaller. I created a fitness product.
Wow, I can feel it. Grandma fat's gonna be gone.
See my muscle flexing in this arm right here. That's kind of tripping right there.
And I will tell you, it totally changed my arms back then. I had pretty damn sexy arms because this thing really works. And I spent 10 years promoting it on Home Shopping.
Look at this go! Do you understand that if you can fire these muscles,
Unwind and you'll go, huh. And wearing, strappy tops. I just was never the fittest girl there. I used to hire fitness models, gorgeous fitness models.
2 million sold. You guys, I could not be more excited. Actually, Jessica, come here for a second.
It's a worldwide phenomenon.
It is. We've been all over the world. And by the way, I won't be back until April, so
Okay.
Tonight is my only show.
So here I am, sitting here 22 pounds lighter, 14% body fat, lost, gone. Wow, what a crazy adventure this has been, right? I don't think, given how my body works, that you can do it half-assed. You're either all in and you lose it, or you're not, because the journey is challenging. Hiding behind fat, hiding behind clothes, hiding behind the next diet. Everybody always just wants to pick on your weight, and God forbid you lose a little or gain a little, and the costumes don't fit. It got old. I got really tired of all of this. And then I fell in love with a bodybuilder. This is the craziest thing. So we decide to go snowmobiling. I've got to tell you, when I was a little kid, I used to dream about how cool a life James Bond led. I know it sounds crazy, right? But he was my hero. He got to snow ski and scuba dive and drive great cars and hang out in glamorous clothes and travel the world and do some espionage. And I've done a lot of fun things because I kept thinking about James Bond in the back of my head. Well, we are snowmobiling out. I mean, take a look at this picture. There's nobody there. You're on a glacier. And I remember thinking to myself, this is such a James Bond moment. This is so freaking cool. And we're in a tour bus and we're going back. The tour bus had these big tires and it was kind of squiggly on the road. And I remember saying, in kind of a humorous way to the driver, I was sitting right behind him, do people come back from this trip? Because we skidded a little bit. I thought, oh, this is a little kind of whirly. Well, as we're driving back, I had my head against the window. And the next thing I know, the bus is flying through the air. We all go to the hospital. They do an x-ray. Turns out my arm is not broken. When I get home later that week, I find out that I've torn the muscles in my arm. I tore my infraspinatus, I tore my bicep, I've torn a couple of things. And it hurts so much. But I'm like, we're okay, we survived this. And the PTSD after that is pretty dramatic. We talked about it. And it was that recurring feeling of, wow, what happened to us? But we're okay. And while we're talking, Joshua says to me that he wants to do another bodybuilding competition. And I'm like, okay, good for you. He said, yeah, it's in St. Pete. I'm like, that's cool, good for you. He said, the funny thing is there's a women's category for over 60. And I'm like, so? And we thought about it for a minute. And I said, now, isn't that interesting? What would it take for me to do that? Because it's a bikini competition. I don't own a bikini. I had no idea at that moment why I said yes, why I would agree to do this. It's the silliest thing in the world. I mean, seriously, it's a freaking bodybuilding competition in a bikini. I'm 64 and I'm not very fit. So I said, all right, it's June 29th, 99 days from now. What should I do?
I feel your love and I feel it burn down this river every turn.
that bunny, watch it burn. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that old. And I don't think the world is sold.
I'm very happy for this to be over with. All right, so welcome to downtown St. Pete. It's called the St. Pete Pro. I moved here when I think the babies were about 5 years old, which would make it about 15 years ago now. It's been great. The only problem is it's boring. Okay, 304th Street. So this is 4th Avenue. That's one of the problems with downtown St. Pete. Everything's an avenue and a street and it all looks the same. So I'm now gonna go back around. What's really funny is if you look right there, that was my very first apartment when I first moved. I bought it. I bought a townhouse right there, which is kind of weird that I happened to pull over there.
Okay, it's not about the fucking scale now. It's just about you and you having fucking fun and going for that big ass smile of yours.
In 2010, I was inducted into the National Fitness Hall of Fame. Why? Because I sold a lot of fitness products. I said when I got inducted, and there's all these, I mean, they're the champions of bodybuilders. That's what this whole organization was based around. And I'm like, I'm the least fit person you've got here. But I've sold the most. And I was kind of proud of that statement. So you walk around going, I'm in the National Fitness Hall of Fame, but I'm not that fit. Kind of interesting. People who are here with their trainers, like pumping up before stage, doing it right. So my first advantage about competitions is that I'd sat through many of them with Joshua. Now I've only sat in the audience, I didn't get to go backstage, I didn't know what all the competitors really dealt with. So I wasn't quite sure. All I know is that sometimes competitions were kind of long and boring and all the posing and all, it just goes on and on and on, right? So you know what I did? Without a coach, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Thank God for YouTube. You can watch all kind of people talk about backstage, the prep, what you have to eat, what you want to pack in your suitcase because you're there all day, like it's a really long day. How do you keep up your energy? How do you do your makeup? That was the other thing. I decided to do my own makeup. But I did a lot of research. So I'm going to put on my really extra sexy robe with my name on it. I've got a girlfriend of mine driving down from Orlando and one from Miami. It's so exciting. Check this out. How cool does she look? I know I was supposed to put on my bikini, but I can't put on my bikini just yet. It's just not that comfortable. But there you go. Check out 126. Backstage, you make friends. Backstage are a lot of people who've been through exactly what you've been through. And it's not the competition. You don't really size up each other. You did the work and you show up and you're gonna present it to the judges. The crazy thing was Joshua was backstage with me. I don't know many people who have this story. There was nobody else in the entire competition of 160 competitors where they were married, where they were a couple. Somebody said, it was at a Coliseum, so it was not like a real backstage, like they didn't have mirrors. So I went to Walmart and bought myself a full-length mirror, which I was like the most popular person because of that. Best $7 I've ever invested. And I had snacks, and I remember thinking, I'm like walking around feeling, I just felt comfortable. My abs were solid, my arms were great, and I'm like, here's the thing. There's not a lot of competitors in the 60 category. I'm gonna do just fine. I'm gonna go out on that stage in my high heels and have a blast. And you know what? I did. The coolest part was I have a medal for all my efforts. I know, I got second place, which is kind of crazy for your first competition. The most important thing you have to decide is why. What's the goal? I used to just say you should have, a wedding or a high school reunion or something that you're planning for. I would up the goal because the journey is challenging. It's not hard. That's not a word that I ascribe to. It's challenging. It's exhilarating. It's confusing at times. It's an experiment. But I will tell you, if you pick a date and you decide you're going to wear a bikini in public, you know, good motivation. And you do need motivation, because I'll tell you what, it's too tempting. It's too easy to get the chocolate cakes, the cookies, the brownie. Like I said, pick a goal, get focused, and the second thing is get educated. What is food? Why do you eat it? What are you eating? What does it do for you? And again, it's a process and a journey.